Welcome to the Writing Center. Okay, hello viewers. We are here with Scott Gage of the FSU Writing Center. Hello. And we're going to ask him a few questions today. Hello, Scott. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay. Name's Scott Gage. Gage with a C. Can we start that over? I meant to say G. My bad. Let's keep going.
Go ahead.
Name's Scott Gage. It's Gage with a G. This is it's my office right here. I got writing on these boards. That's like stats. Don't look at the stats. This is my piano. We like to keep it creative around here. This is my guitar. Rad. Yeah, I know. So that's me in charge of this writing center. Okay. And what would you say is the main purpose of a writing center? Well, I think the main purpose of a writing center, gotta be to develop the students who come in to see us as writers. You know, what does that look like? Well, it's really impossible to give a universal image. But students, essentially it's engaging students and figuring out what they want to accomplish. Then offering strategies, methods in which to help them improve their writing on their own. And on their own is the key phrase. Because, we hope they learn something from us that they can transfer their future work. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand that you offer an online option. Yes, we do offer. Yeah, we offer an online option. For students, so they don't have to come in. They can just email it into our tutors, and then the tutors read it, edit it, critique it. We try to get them not just to edit it, but instead, to point out confusing paragraphs, provide a student a direction in which he or she can go himself, and then send it back to them as a Word format. But having said that, the problem with the online component is that it's not interactive. Yes, communication occurs, but it's not instantaneous. It's not as collaborative as making an actual appointment. I also heard somewhere that your FSU Writing Center, you offer, appointments with peer tutors as a class. Well, what's with that? As the kids say, what up with that? Yeah, to my knowledge, it's not anywhere else. The Writing Center's only been around for like 25 years. I don't know why that was put into place, but I do know it goes against common practices. On the one hand, if I had to speculate, it may have developed as an excuse for the creation of the Writing Center. We get this many hours of registered students, ergo we are an important service. If it were up to me, though, the center would only be for those who come in, the walk-ins. We don't need registered students here who don't want to be here. We need walk-in students who need help with their writing. Not just English majors, but all majors. Okay. Alright, so who do you employ in the Writing Center? Well, as of right now, in the current context of the Writing Center, we only really employ English majors, English graduates, but, we're looking to expand into, all fields, for all types of writing. Okay, oh! Well, alrighty, don't you know? So, can you bring in any type of writing, say, a personal statement for grad school, or a paper you have to write for class, or a letter to a jilted ex-lover, or maybe, a script, etc.? Well, in the current context, I'd say in the current context of the Writing Center, I probably wouldn't let you register for credit, for personal writing. Like, if you came in as a screenwriter, see, the problem with that is, well, one, it's not for school, so I wouldn't let you register. But two, screenwriting is such a specialized form, we might not have an expert for you. But we could offer plot, form, structure, I mean, we had a guy who came in once asking us to help him look through the lyrics on these rock songs. You know, killer riffs. Helped him out with the guitar. Wah, 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 wah. Rad. Right, but that's the good thing about the Writing Center, you know? I mean, those who are not creative writing majors or English majors or whatnot whatsoever, right? You know, I mean, we're a place for them to come bounce ideas off of. You know, we're, how do I put this? We're an audience for them, to tell them what people are gonna think. Okay. Shucks. Let me ask you a question. Let's say I'm a science major, if you could believe, and I'm going to be bringing in a paper I'm going to need published in a scientific journal. Now, do you have somebody on staff who could, help me out with that? Something real expertise, like string theory. Well, we're trying to move in that direction. E.g., I made a presentation last week to a class of athletic trainers. I did an hour-long presentation on writing according to the Medical Association of Style guide. If they came in and wanted specific knowledge, quite honestly, I mean, I could riff on about a little while about what I know, this, that, but I'm not trained for, I'm not trained for athletic style or, trainers. I mean, frankly, I'd tell them to consult a colleague. We had a math student come in about 3 weeks ago looking for, to publish this guide to a math problem in a math magazine. Those whatchamacallits, with the magazines they publish math stuff in, right? And he wanted us to read it for him, but I don't know quantum equations and physics and nuggets and this, that. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But we looked it for grammar. We helped him to clarify it to make sense, made sure he knew who his audience was, and I think we did a pretty good job with it. But you gotta make sure you keep in mind, I'm not so sure you can separate form and content like that, grammar and content. But we're moving in that direction, getting other majors in to help with the tutoring. Well, alrighty then, thank you. That's better than I expected. You got yourself quite an operation here, don't you? Okay, so last thing we'll say. I'm a new student. I'm the new big man on campus. And I'm waddling into your writing center, and I'm waddling into campus. And, well, I'm not an English major. Let's say I'm a classics art major. And I don't think I'm ever gonna need this highfalutin writing ever again. How are you gonna convince me that I need you? And I can't write my papers by myself, huh? Well, see, the thing is, you can write your papers by yourself, but I wouldn't recommend it, and here's the reason. One of the things that's different about writing and reality is that you have to invent an audience. Let's say you're writing in real life, in the real field, out there in the real world, you're writing. A writer. Let's say you're a speechwriter, okay. And, you're Barack Obama's speechwriter. Yeah, yo, Barack, let me write. He says, okay, write it. I write it, he says it, so on, so forth. Don't yell at that Maryland cop. So, you're writing his speech. You know right away who you're talking to. You're talking to the people. You have an audience in mind. But when you're writing, the only audience you got is your professor. So us, we provide that audience. Anytime, let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask you a question, Mr. Reporter Man. All right. How many times have you been sitting there writing up copy? You've been sitting there writing up something you gotta say on the news. And everything sounds great to you. And you're like, oh, I'ma get an Emmy for this one. But then, someone else picks it up and says, this don't make no sense. Well, well, not me personally, but I've had friends. Yeah, I thought so. Here's the thing. We provide that audience. We ask those questions. We try to ask the questions that get you to think about how to solve these problems. And in the process, we turn you into a better writer. Mm-hmm. Do you think I've sold you on the Writing Center yet? Well, of course you did, you charmer. Oh, I'll be into the Writing Center.
and hopefully so will all of you. Thank you for joining us today, Scott.